Her family closed every door, but love gave her one reason to stay. But love made her stand alone. The night she decided to choose love, the sky itself seemed to turn against her. Dark clouds pressed low over the city, thunder rolled like a warning, and every light in her childhood home felt harsh, judgmental, as if the walls had ears and the memories were watching. In that moment, her heart was pounding louder than the storm outside, because she knew that once she stepped forward, there would be no turning back. She was about to disappoint everyone she had ever loved. Yet for the first time in her life, she felt truly honest with herself. If you believe that love is worth fighting for, that kindness and second chances can change lives, then take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the soul. She had grown up in a family where expectations were carved in stone. From childhood, her path was already decided. Who she should become, how she should behave, and eventually, who she should marry. Her parents were respected in their community, admired for their discipline and traditions. They believed love was something that grew after responsibility, not before it. To them, emotions were dangerous, and following the heart was a luxury meant for people who did not understand sacrifice. She had been taught to obey, to listen, to never question decisions made for her own good, and for years she did exactly that. Then love found her in the most unexpected way. It wasn't dramatic at first. It was quiet, almost invisible, growing slowly in shared moments and understanding glances. He was not what her family would have chosen. He came from a different background, carried different dreams, and did not fit into the carefully planned future drawn for her since birth. Yet with him she felt seen, not as a daughter, not as a responsibility, but as a human being, with thoughts, fears, and dreams of her own. Around him, her laughter felt lighter, her silence felt safe, and her heart felt alive. But love, when it challenges tradition, never stays hidden for long. Whispers began to spread. Concern turned into suspicion, and suspicion into open resistance. Her family noticed the change in her eyes, the way she smiled more softly, the way she grew distant during family gatherings. Questions followed, then warnings. She was reminded of sacrifices made for her education, her comfort, her future. She was told that love was temporary, but family was forever. Each word felt like a rope tightening around her chest, pulling her back toward the life chosen for her. The pressure did not come only from her home. Friends she had known for years advised her to be careful, to think logically, to avoid ruining her reputation. Relatives spoke about honor, society, and consequences. She began to feel like her love was a crime, something shameful that needed to be erased. Nights became restless. She would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, torn between loyalty and longing. Her heart wanted one thing, her world demanded another. The hardest part was the guilt. She loved her family deeply. She knew their fears came from a place of concern, not cruelty. They believed they were protecting her from pain, from uncertainty, from a future they could not control. Yet every time she imagined letting go of the man she loved, her chest felt hollow, as if she was slowly disappearing from her own life. She realized that obeying everyone else meant betraying herself. The breaking point came quietly, without shouting or drama. It came in a moment of clarity, when she saw her reflection and barely recognized the woman staring back. She looked tired, smaller, as if the weight of expectations had bent her spirit. In that moment she understood something that changed everything. A life lived to please everyone else would never truly be hers. Love, real love, was not just about romance. It was about choosing truth over fear. When she finally stood firm, the reaction was devastating. Tears flowed, voices trembled, and disappointment filled the room like thick smoke. She was accused of being selfish, ungrateful, reckless. Every harsh word cut deep, but she did not raise her voice or argue back. Instead, she held on to her decision with quiet strength. Walking away from approval felt like walking barefoot through fire, but she kept moving. The days that followed were the loneliest of her life. Calls went unanswered. Doors that once felt warm now felt closed. She questioned herself constantly, wondering if love was worth this pain. There were moments when doubt almost won, when she considered surrendering just to restore peace. But each time she felt herself slipping, she remembered why she chose this path. Not for rebellion, not to hurt anyone, but to live honestly. Slowly, change began to appear in unexpected ways. She learned resilience she never knew she had. She discovered that love also meant patience, sacrifice, and growth. Together, they faced financial struggles, emotional setbacks, and the uncertainty of building a life without support. It was not easy, and it was not perfect, but it was real. Every small victory felt earned. Every smile felt meaningful. Time, as it always does, softened sharp edges. The silence from her family slowly turned into cautious concern. They watched from a distance, expecting her to fail, to return broken and apologetic. But she did not. She stood taller, stronger, wiser. The happiness they once feared began to show on her face, undeniable and sincere. They saw that love had not destroyed her, it had shaped her. The first sign of acceptance came quietly, without grand apologies. A short message. A question about her well-being. A reminder that despite everything, she was still their daughter. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a crack in the wall. She held onto that moment with hope, understanding that healing takes time. Years later, when she looked back at her journey, she no longer saw only pain. She saw courage. She saw a young woman who dared to choose herself in a world that demanded obedience. She saw love that survived judgment, distance, and fear. And she saw a family learning, slowly, that happiness cannot be controlled. It can only be supported. Her story was never about choosing love over family. It was about choosing honesty over fear, courage over silence, and truth over tradition. She did not go against everyone to prove a point. She did it to live a life that felt real, meaningful, and whole. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of your own struggles, your own silent battles for love and acceptance, then please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs strength, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that heal and inspire. And before this story ends, we have one special request for you. Comment below and tell us, would you have had the courage to choose love, even if the whole world stood against you? Because sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is not to fight others, but to finally listen to their own heart.